Hello Montessorians, my name is Michelle Bach and I am in training for the Early Childhood Teacher Program for Montessori. Today, acting as the child, I brought my teenager Waylon Bach, and he is going to go through this lesson for you today. And so today's lesson is living and non-living organisms that are found in nature or out in the wild. And you know, in the classroom we have some of these lessons on the shelf that you've been sorting and matching and classifying, and so we have an activity that we're going to go through today. Are you ready, Waylon? Thank you so much for helping. Alright, so do you know what an organism is?
A living animal that has cells.
Yes, or a plant, right?
Yeah.
Very good. And if an organism is living, what does it need?
Food, water, if it's a plant, sunlight.
Energy, yeah. Okay, and habitat, right?
Yeah.
Or a home, or a shelter. Great. Now, if it's a non-living organism, does it need those things to survive?
No.
It does not. Okay. So, for example, I'm living. Are you living?
Yeah.
Yeah. We need to breathe, eat, drink water. We need our home. So, for another example, I have these earrings. And do you know what they are? We find them on the beach sometimes.
Beach glass.
Yeah. I wear those a lot. These are odorless, or what do we call them? Lucky
Stones.
Yes, and they are found from a fish called a gizzard shad. So the fish is living, has a habitat, but this bone we found on the beach is a non-living organism. Okay, all right, so if we can move up to the table now, Waylon, I am going to put my non-living, I brought rocks so they don't fly away. We don't really have a breeze, it's kind of hot today. All right, and I'm going to set that down. And are you ready for the lesson?
Yep.
All right, so the first period is us naming living and non-living organisms. And it's a beautiful day, so we're going to look at our words. And I'm going to sound them out. And you're going to tell me what the word is. So we've got wa, a, t, e,
Water.
Then we've got s, a, n.
Sun.
Okay, let's keep them in my order. Then we've got d, I, t.
Dirt.
A, k.
Rock.
B, d.
Bird.
T, e.
Tree.
F, n, g, e.
Fungi.
Yeah. I, n, s, e, k, t.
Insect.
Yes. Thank you so much for doing this, so I didn't have to do it at nobody. This is very helpful in my lesson that I'm teaching today. So those were our wild words. Now what we're going to do is I have wild cards, and we're going to recognize these organisms. Are they living or non-living? And so, Waylon, I'm going to go through each one and just tell you first. Are you ready?
Nope.
This is water. It is non-living. This is the sun. It is non-living. This is dirt or soil. It is non-living. This is rocks. Lots of rocks. They are non-living. Now we're going to go to, where do you think we might find these non-living organisms?
Everywhere.
Like, give me one example.
Sun's in the sky. The water's down in the creek. Dirt's on the ground and rocks are in the ground.
Great, yeah, on the earth. Wonderful. Okay, so now we're going to go over the living organisms. This is a bird. It is living. This is a tree. It is living. This is fungi. It is living. And this is an insect. It is living. So, Waylon, can you tell me, can you name or identify any of those living organisms? What would this be?
It's a cardinal.
Yeah, it's our state bird in Ohio. What is this kind of tree?
It's a maple tree.
It is. What's this fungi?
It's a mushroom.
And what about this insect?
It's an ant.
All right, so now we're going to move on, and I am going to see if you recognize and associate what the living and non-living organisms are. And so we will match, and you can go ahead, you can just point at it if you'd like. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Waylon, can you show me the water? And can you point to the sun? Can you hand me the rock? The card, the wild card, please. And really, I shouldn't correct him. If he wanted to hand me a rock, that is okay in the Montessori world. And so, show me the, did I say all four? I did. Okay. Show me the bird. Okay. Point to the tree. Touch the fungi. And hand me the insect. Okay, I'm going to put that back. So the third period of this lesson is recalling and identifying the living and non-living organisms. Now you'll tell me what the organism is, and then you're going to place it in the living or the non-living. So let me gather the wild cards. Okay, and you see again, non-living and living. Are you ready, Waylon?
Yep.
Okay. So, what is this?
It's a cardinal and it's living.
Okay. And what is this?
It's a maple tree and it's living.
What is this?
It's a mushroom. It's a fungi and it's living.
Oh, you said both terms, I noticed. And what is this?
It's an insect and it's living.
All right. And what is this?
It's a rock. It's non-living.
And what is this?
It's dirt. It does not live.
Does it have things that live in it?
Yep, like worms or moles and other insects.
Yeah, so even though it's non-living, it supports life. What is this?
It's the sun. It does not live.
Okay. What's the important thing it does do?
It gives everything energy.
All right. And what is this?
It's water. It does not live.
Okay. Now, who needs water to survive?
Everybody.
Everything. Plants, animals, people. Okay. So what we're going to do now is I am going to turn over the cards. This is where your memory is going to come into play, Waylon. I'm going to remove one of each living and non-living organism, and you're going to recall which organism is missing. Are you ready? Okay. I'm going to take this one away and this one away. Now let's flip the cards over. Waylon, what non-living organism is missing?
Dirt.
Let's see if you are correct. Yes, the dirt was missing. I'm going to let you hold that. Now I'm going to turn over the living organisms. See if you guys can guess while you're watching. Which one is missing, Waylon?
Fungi.
Let's see. All right. So you can repeat that as many times as you want. My son's got to go to work now, so we are going to move on to, is that the last one? Yeah, so we can repeat that. Thank you so much, Waylon. I'll take those cards and say goodbye. And thank you so much. Before I end this video and this lesson, I just wanted to let you know that there are extensions that can be done with living and non-living. We have amazing Montessori materials in the classroom for kids to work with, and when we're outdoors, there are other things that we can do. For instance, we've got our living and non-living organisms. Okay. We could get natural items to place. Now, I've had 3 insects escape Okay, but I have him upside down. He's really not happy. He wants to go back to his habitat. I have some dirt and soil. So these are some things. Oh my gosh, and I just realized one of them is wrong. David's my cameraman, my husband. Do you know which cards I need to flop in the right categories?
You need to put the dirt in the non-living and the mushroom in the living, the fungus.
Yes. So that was like a controlled error. Right away I noticed that it wasn't right because I wanted to place my object. And I knew it was non-living. So I do have the other objects. For time's sake, we will move on. That's one extension you can do. Another extension you can do is really practice senses, right? In Montessori, we are practicing senses. So I've got this. I'm going to play my nature sound, and then maybe David, since he's here, can tell me what it is. Are you ready?
It's a bird.
It is whoop, 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 whoop. So we could listen to that sound, guess it, we could repeat it, and we could identify which object it is. Now we could do that by touching the water. Okay. We could do that by observing and looking at the different parts of the ant. Is he still in there or did he escape?
He is in there.
Okay.
Maybe. He's underneath.
Oh, good.
Should we free him?
Yes, we will free him at the end when we feel the sun. All right, and we could smell the dirt. Oh, and we could taste a mushroom. Now, I found a mushroom in my yard. I don't know if it's poisonous, so I am not going to eat anything in nature I don't know. A rule, very good nature rule. I do know I can eat my cherry, so I will do so. Okay. And then the last thing we'll do today is see how the sun feels while we release our animal back to its home. We should never bring living organisms back to the classroom. So the last thing as an extension is you can take your students outside to have a scavenger hunt to look for non-living and living organisms. You could bring these pictures to match. You could bring their nature journal so they draw or write their evidence they are finding. Or you could simply collect things. Now, rule of nature is if there are 100 living things, you could maybe pick a flower. But for most cases, maybe taking pictures or just stopping and gathering everyone to look is a good way to do that. One wild hint I do want to share before we release our friend is that when you're hiking, Children's House, elementary, they get so excited and distracted. So maybe on your hike, practice walking silently and really absorbing and practicing their senses and stopping along the way maybe 1 to 3 times to study a plot that you can find living and non-living organisms. All right, so thank you so much to my son and my husband. We are going to let this ant go if you want to follow me into our backyard. And let me grab something. We found this ant. It's a carpenter ant, so it is an insect with 3 body parts, an antenna, and 6 legs. Right? Those are our insects. And we found it on our locust tree. So after I've studied it and looked at it, I want to make sure I return him to his environment. Oh, he's so tricky. You know what? He was under the lid, but since I had the lid, he couldn't escape. But now he's back in his habitat because that's where this living creature has everything he needs. And my last question was, how does the sun make you feel? So let's walk down to the sun. And Waylon was right. All those living and non-living things could be found in this forest. But the sun, oh gosh, I'm absorbing its energy, and it really makes me feel hot and a little sweaty. Just had an insect on my face. So, all right, that's my 3+1 lesson. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a great day.